Why narcissists feel suffering when you choose to walk away and forget about them. Have you ever walked away from someone you once thought you couldn't live without, only to watch them react in a way that feels completely unexpected, like a narcissist? Maybe they were cold, distant, or acted as if nothing bothered them at all. But here's the truth. Behind that facade of indifference lies something far deeper. Narcissists often feel immense suffering when you choose to walk away from them. It's not because they truly care about you in the way you might want them to, but because you have become something they desperately need: an audience, an admirer, and most importantly, a source of validation for their fragile ego. In this video, we will explore why narcissists react so strongly when you walk away and forget about them, what their suffering really means, and how this can help you reclaim your own power and peace. But first, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share this video with anyone who might benefit from understanding the complex dynamics of narcissistic relationships. Trust me, you don't want to miss the full discussion, and this could be the turning point for someone who feels stuck in a toxic dynamic. So let's dive into this. When you walk away from a narcissist, it's not just the end of the relationship, it's the end of their emotional supply. And that, my friend, is where the real suffering begins. But what does this mean? Let's take a closer look. Narcissists and their need for constant validation. Narcissists thrive on validation. It's not enough for them to simply feel good about themselves. They need constant external reinforcement. Their sense of self-worth is not built from within. Instead, it is built on the reactions and admiration they receive from others. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how a narcissist behaves when they are the center of attention? They love it. They need it. Their whole persona is built around the need for others to reflect back to them how special, important, or desirable they are. It's their fuel. But what happens when that validation is taken away? When you choose to walk away and stop providing them with the attention and admiration they crave, the narcissist starts to feel an emotional void. This void is painful for them, not because they truly miss you as a person, but because you were their primary source of emotional nourishment. You were the mirror that reflected back to them their perceived greatness. The moment you decide to forget about them, their sense of self begins to crack. The walls they've built around their ego start to crumble. Narcissists cannot function without their audience. They rely on it to feel alive. When you remove yourself from the equation, it's like they've lost their lifeline. This loss causes them immense suffering, but not in the way you might think. It's not the sorrow of losing a loved one. It's the agony of losing their emotional supply. The fear of being forgotten. One of the most debilitating fears a narcissist has is being forgotten. Narcissists often surround themselves with people who feed their ego, constantly reaffirming their importance. But when someone walks away and forgets about them, it's as if they cease to exist in the eyes of the world. The fear of invisibility is terrifying to them. When you stop chasing after them, stop responding to their manipulations, or simply refuse to play their games, they experience a sense of powerlessness. For someone who thrives on control and attention, this is a crushing blow. Narcissists feel entitled to be the focal point of everyone's attention, especially when they have invested time and energy into getting people to admire or worship them. The moment you disconnect, they are faced with the harsh reality that they are not as important as they once thought. This realization is deeply unsettling for them, and their suffering is not just emotional, it's existential. They can't bear the thought of being insignificant, and your indifference forces them to confront the truth. Their worth isn't inherent, it's dependent on others. And when you forget about them, you take away their significance, leaving them in a state of internal chaos. the narcissist's sense of control and how it's shattered. Another reason narcissists suffer when you walk away is that they lose control. Narcissists are skilled at manipulating people into behaving the way they want them to. They have an uncanny ability to make you feel guilty, obligated, or responsible for their happiness. But when you choose to walk away and disengage from their games, they lose the ability to control you. For a narcissist, control is everything. It's what makes them feel powerful and secure. When you take that control away by walking away, they feel vulnerable. This vulnerability is something they are not accustomed to. It threatens their carefully constructed image of invulnerability and superiority. The narcissist's response to this loss of control is not just frustration, it's emotional suffering because they can't handle being powerless. They can't stand being in a position where their usual manipulations no longer work. You're no longer their puppet, and that is a blow to their ego that they cannot easily recover from. The more you refuse to engage with them, the more they struggle to regain the control they once had. This dynamic creates a type of suffering that is tied to their inability to influence or dominate others. It's not about love, care, or affection. It's about maintaining their status and power. And when you walk away, you strip that from them. Why narcissists don't let go easily? Even when a narcissist discards someone, it doesn't necessarily mean they have truly let go of the person. It's not uncommon for narcissists to reappear when they sense that you've completely moved on. This is because they are not seeking closure. They are seeking a return to the emotional supply that you once provided. They will often come back, not out of love, but out of a need to reaffirm their value and worth. Your absence has been an emotional wound to their fragile ego, and they need to heal it by reminding themselves that they are still important to you. But what happens when you truly let go and stop engaging with them? Narcissists begin to feel the loss deeply. It's not just about losing you. It's about losing the ability to manipulate, control, or feed off your energy. You've taken away their power. They can no longer use you as a tool to inflate their self-esteem. And that's when their suffering truly begins. They may try to re-enter your life with charm, guilt, or promises of change, but the truth is, they are not offering you genuine love or care. They are simply trying to regain their emotional supply. And when you don't fall for their tricks, they are left with nothing but the realization that their manipulation no longer works. This loss of influence is devastating for a narcissist. The narcissist's suffering is an illusion. It's important to note that the suffering narcissists experience when you walk away is not the same kind of suffering you would feel in the same situation. Their suffering is rooted in their inflated sense of self-importance and their dependence on external validation. They don't suffer because they miss you or because they love you. They suffer because they are no longer the center of your universe, and that threatens their sense of identity. In reality, the narcissist's suffering is more of an illusion. They have created an identity based on the validation they receive from others. When that validation is taken away, their sense of self begins to crumble. But this isn't the same as genuine emotional suffering. It's the pain of realizing that their carefully constructed image is fragile. It's the pain of being exposed for what they really are, someone who needs constant admiration to feel worthy. The power of letting go. When you choose to walk away and forget about a narcissist, you are reclaiming your power. You are no longer feeding into their false narrative. You are no longer a source of validation for their ego. Instead, you are embracing your own worth and moving forward with your life. And while the narcissist may suffer temporarily, their suffering is a reflection of their own weakness and insecurity, not your failure. By walking away, you are giving yourself the opportunity to heal and grow. You are no longer entangled in the toxic cycle that the narcissist created. And as you move forward, you will find that the suffering of the narcissist fades into the background, while you step into a brighter, more empowered version of yourself. Thank you for sticking around and watching this video. If you found this discussion valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who might need to hear this message. Walking away from a narcissist isn't just about ending a relationship. It's about reclaiming your power, your peace, and your self-worth. The suffering the narcissist feels is not your burden to bear. You have freed yourself, and in doing so, you've made space for healing, growth, and new possibilities. You deserve a life filled with genuine love, respect, and happiness. Keep moving forward, knowing that every step away from toxicity is a step closer to the life you were always meant to live. Don't take revenge on the narcissist. God says do this instead. If you've ever been hurt by a narcissist, you know the deep pain and emotional destruction that can follow. Narcissistic individuals are often skilled manipulators, leaving you feeling broken, used, and discarded. In such